Episode 14, August 16th, 2011.
Howard and Kevin open your mail.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Okay.
I come to bury Caesar. No. I come to bury Kevin, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Kevin.
Wow. That's a hell of a start.
Thank you.
That was Julius Caesar?
No, I made that up.
Oh, okay. All right. So that wasn't Shakespeare or anything like that.
Shakespeare, I don't even know who that is.
He was a writer of some repute at some point.
He may have ripped that off from me
I see. Okay, that's fine.
in his famous play Julius Caesar, Act 3, Scene 2.
Oh.
But I made it up first.
I appreciate the whole thing you did there, but did you have to dress up as a Roman? That's what I don't. And could you not have worn pants? That's what really I'm worried about.
Well, it's like a toga party in here.
I know it's too much of a toga party.
Did you like the fact that I put you in the play?
Yeah, that was good. You changed it on the fly. I noticed nobody could
did.
tell, but you added my name there.
I'm sorry that I have to kill you now.
No, that's fine. Is that why you brought the sword?
What are you going to do? It's showbiz.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 14 of the Howard and Kevin Open Your Mail podcast. We're here again. Howard?
Mother Superior.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to hear from you, Kevin.
Oh, it's always wonderful to hear from me.
Yes. So it is fun to be back. Episode 14. We've been away for a little while.
A little bit.
We've both been traveling to.
We had more important things. I mean, other things to do, and we've been.
We were on we
were on tour.
I was going to say we were up at the International Space Station.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, we were on tour.
We did a live podcast for them on the space station.
Yeah,
then we
that's
came
right.
back for our nationwide tour.
We are huge with astronauts.
We are, yeah.
And, well, folks, thank you very much for listening. Glad to have you here. We hope you enjoyed today's show. As always, check out our website, HowardandKevin.com.
It's a good website.
We're on Facebook. We're on
Twitter. Yeah.
You can subscribe to us on iTunes.
So many ways to hear the thing that you're already hearing. So why are we even mentioning it?
Well, they might think, I'm listening to it this way, but I didn't know I could listen to the other way.
I didn't know I could listen to it on Twitter. Oh, no, you can't actually listen to it on Twitter.
And, of course, we love your letters.
That's true.
Here on the Howard and Kevin Open Your Mail podcast, we open your mail.
That's true.
So send us some at mail@howardandkevin.com.
Yeah, we need more letters, folks. That's the lifeblood of this show is letters.
It's true. So
anyway, speaking of letters, would you like to get to letter number one?
I guess that's the idea.
All right, let's do it.
I
got one. You want me to go?
Do it. Go for it.
Okay.
Roll the bones, baby.
We'll edit this all out. Roll the bones. Okay, dear Kevin and Howard. Oh, they've mixed us up on that.
They
put me first.
They like Kevin first.
I think so.
Yeah.
Obviously, this person likes me. I work from home and have 4 dogs. They don't want to go outside. It's too hot. Are dead bored and driving me crazy. What can I do? And that's from Kate.
Huh.
That's an interesting question.
Kate from nowhere.
No, yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't exist. Maybe she was on the space station.
That's possible. Well, we're happy to hear from you, Kate.
Yeah.
Let us know where you're from, folks. We're fascinated to hear where all our letters are coming from.
It's
all
true.
all over the world.
Yes.
I'm sure that's not really true, but
no.
So Kate has dogs who don't want to go outside,
Mm-hmm.
and she's not quite sure what to do about the dogs.
That's
Now,
right.
before I let you jump into your fascinating answer to Kate,
Yeah.
the letter that I was going to read next,
Yes.
that was going to come number 2,
Uh-huh.
is actually kind of similar in a way. So do you mind if I read it now? And then
All right, maybe we could have like a little letter twofer.
Yeah.
Although we've never read that. But
What did you say? A letter what?
twofer.
Oh, like a twofer.
Yeah,
right.
like a 2-for-1.
Right, got it. A 2-for-1. A 2-for-1 deal, yes.
Yeah.
1 answer, 2 questions.
Exactly.
It reminds me of in university once. I wrote 1 essay and handed it to 2 different professors.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's
It was
a
like-
good idea.
I had like, one was like, basically anyway, the subject was sort of
applicable to both
and
topics.
man,
Yeah.
I could have gotten in big trouble for that. But
You could have, but you didn't.
instead, I am president of the university. I
think if any of your professors are listening to this podcast, now, you may have to go back and redo those classes, which would be hilarious.
I'm always that's like one of those recurring dreams I have. I get a letter saying, it turns out one of your courses was not actually,
we all have that dream. I'm mostly naked too. So in that dream.
All my clothes fell off on the way to school. So here's the other letter. I'll preface it by saying it's not all entirely the same as her letter.
Okay,
but when it gets to the end, you can kind of understand how it relates.
All right.
Dear Howard and Kevin.
Oh, this guy likes you better.
Yes, he has written the proper way. Dear Howard and Kevin, my brother is an inveterate poon hound.
Wow, okay.
I think that might be the first time we've mentioned the word poon on our podcast.
I think so. It doesn't come up much.
And he has gone to California for a week to chase tail.
My goodness.
This guy's impression of him chasing tail. Tail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this a dirty letter? Is this?
Well, it is a little.
Did he try to write to Penthouse Forum and he's got us instead?
Well, he's gone to trade hazmat suits with Steve Tyler. Okay. I'm actually not sure I get that.
I'm not sure I get that either.
Okay.
But I haven't been watching American Idol, so who knows what's on that.
I'm stuck in Toronto and am obliged to feed his stupid cat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, see where I'm getting to, right?
Cats.
This involves feeding the cat and also spending several precious minutes staring blankly into space, trying to make the cat feel like she hasn't been abandoned while her master is at some faraway poontangery.
Oh my God!
Do they have those now?
The poontangery? I don't know. Maybe it's like Boston Pizza. It's in the big box store mall.
Yeah. Apart from telling her she is a good cat, which she isn't, and a pretty cat, which is a contradiction in terms.
Oh my goodness, he's having a go at cats.
How can I amuse myself and this clawing, needy creature?
Yes.
Signed, Paul from Toronto.
Oh man, well that's a hell of a letter.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there.
Yes,
maybe we can get to the first part in a minute. But I don't want to ignore Kate here and her concern with her dogs. And of course, she has a concern with her dogs. Paul here has a concern taking care of cats.
It's true. Both have to do with taking care of animals. I don't know if you noticed that.
That was the link
Both
I drew.
Cats and dogs are animals. So yeah, I guess Kate is frustrated by the fact that that's the thing with dogs is that much more so than cats, I think. Like cats are very independent. They've kind of got their own stuff to do, it seems, and we're just kind of there to feed them and like clean their litter, and occasionally they'll come up and say hello. Dogs, it's like we really like they're like high maintenance. They're like you might as well have a kid if you have a dog. You know what I mean? Like a kid is just slightly more maintenance than a dog is because they need to be walked, they need to be loved, they need to be fed 5 or 6 times a day. They need all kinds of work. Right? So her dogs are really starting to, it sounds like, just annoy her.
So she works from home.
Yeah.
She has 4 dogs.
Wow, that's a lot of dogs.
So right to begin with, that's an awfully big commitment.
I wonder how big these dogs are, if they're the little ones or the big ones.
Wow.
Because 4 big dogs would be quite a lot of work.
Any kind of dogs, 4 of them is a lot of work.
It's true.
And so this is the part that I find funny. They don't want to go outside
because it's too hot.
Wow, that is some spoiled dogs.
That is spoiled dogs. Yeah, I know. They should be happy to go out at all.
And yet they're bored.
Yeah, they're dead bored. Well, I can see why, and driving her crazy because they're inside all the time.
Okay, so you're more of an animal.
Yes, I have animals. I have some
I don't
cats.
have any, and I never have, and you're more involved in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So as a non-animal guy, here's what I'm going to suggest. They're bored and driving her crazy. What can I do? I think she should put on a show for them.
Would it be a dog-related show?
Well, maybe.
Or maybe she could put on Julius Caesar.
Yeah. She could get like some sort of puppets.
Yes.
Maybe little puppy puppets.
Oh, puppets. Yes.
And put on like a little show for the dogs.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. Because they would get a lot out of that, because they realize they're getting attention. Mm-hmm. But then also if it's kind of dog related, it's kind of like they're 4 dogs. But if you have dogs in the play, it's like even more doggy friends.
Yeah. Or if that doesn't work, how about she gets them involved in some sort of arts and crafts? So he sets them up. At
I
the
think
little
really what
table.
you're recommending is you're recommending like ideas that someone could do for their children. Really, it's like maybe they should go to summer camp, and
that would keep them nice and cool, swimming all day.
That's true.
If they're so hot though, maybe she needs to take them to the beach.
Maybe
You have
or
a
give them
beach?
haircuts.
Or you have haircuts, yeah.
Yeah, they might be too fluffy for the outside, depending on what kind of dogs they are.
So yeah, I think they could do little paintings.
Okay.
Maybe a paint by numbers thing.
Yeah.
They are dogs.
They are dogs, yeah.
What do you expect?
I mean, it's going to be a lot of paw prints, I'm assuming.
Right.
But still.
What else could we do? What else could she do to keep them busy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think the idea, though, that they get to decide that they don't want to go outside.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
That might be part of the problem. Maybe we need to show these dogs who's boss. Kate.
That's right. She needs Cesar Romero. What's that guy's name? Cesar Milan. He's the dog whisperer.
Oh, yes.
She needs him to come by and show these dogs who's boss. Who's
Right.
the alpha male, Kate. You got to be the alpha male, Kate.
Is that what he does?
I think so. Yeah, you gotta be the pack leader or whatever. The pack.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's pack leader.
Because dogs are wolves, ultimately.
Well, yeah, they are, and they respond to that kind of training and stuff. Yeah,
Right.
at least on the show they do. But they might be actor dogs. I don't know. They might not be real dogs. There could be people in dog suits.
They've spent years training dogs to do things that dogs won't do.
Yeah.
In order to fool everyone who actually has a real dog.
Yeah, no, I think they're actually humans in dog suits. It's like midgets and, little people in dog suits.
Now, Paul, his problem is that he's been forced to spend time with his brother's cat.
Right. Okay. So he's got kitty problems.
And how can I amuse myself and this clawing, needy creature?
That's a good point. Yeah, he's kind of got the opposite problem because does he? I mean, the dogs. See, the dogs are driving her crazy for a specific reason. I think this guy just doesn't like cats. I think it's a wrong choice of him to be the person who's taking care of these cats.
Okay, so here's my question.
Sure, hit me.
Look, I'm not trying to be mean or insensitive.
No.
But we all know what cats are like.
Yeah.
Is the cat going to care if he just comes in, throws some food and water in a bowl and leaves?
Probably not. Yeah.
Does he really need to amuse this cat?
No, it's a good point. Yeah, no, it's a fair point. And also, like, I think the guy who has the cat will never know whether or not.
What's the cat going to tell him?
Exactly. Look.
Your brother didn't entertain me.
Is that your little cat voice?
Yeah.
Wow, add that to the repertoire of impressions. That was accurate. That other part wasn't so much. But anyway.
It didn't sound like an actual cat talking?
No, my cats don't talk like that.
What do
they
they
say?
say?
Oh, hello, Kevin. How are you?
They say
Where have you been? You haven't been with any dogs, have you?
The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often turned with their bones.
Yeah, exactly.
So let it be with Caesar.
Anyway, so yeah, I think you're right. I think if we were to help Paul out, I think we would say, just go there, clean the litter, feed him, and go away.
Make sure the cat is healthy.
I don't think the cat's going to get anything out of you. So
yeah, the idea that
why bother?
So he should not be putting on a show for this cat.
No, see, he doesn't need to do that.
And cats will not do arts and crafts.
No, not generally. No.
You see,
not like dogs.
And they won't stay within the lines when they color.
No, they don't.
They are not good at
it.
Well, okay, so Kate, you need to entertain your dogs. Paul, you need to not
ignore them.
Now, is there some way that Kate's dogs
could entertain
the cat?
Yeah, only in the dogs would chase the cat around for about 3 hours.
So wouldn't that get both of them
solved? It'd be entertaining.
Their problem solved?
I think it'd be more entertaining for the dogs than the cat. I think the cat would be actually...
Cat would be busy.
He would be busy.
And tired at the end.
Yeah. We'd have a big cat nap.
All right. Well, there you go, Kate and Paul. Good luck. I hope you have a beautiful life together. Your cat and dog.
Well, I think Kate probably has a better chance with the other Poonhound guy.
I wouldn't get involved with him. He sounds like trouble to me.
He sounds like a jerk. Okay, so maybe another letter then?
I think it's time.
I think we put quite a tail on that kite. Okay. Letter number 2, which is actually number 3. But the other 2 were, kind of...
I think it's still number 3.
All right, fine.
2 guys are tied for first. The next guy is in third. He's not in second.
I see. Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, the letter begins, "Hey guys." Oh, so that's good. So they they didn't have to go through the thing at Kevin and Howard or Howard and Kevin. So it's just, "Hey guys."
Hey guys.
I was just wondering, when was the last time that either of you got in trouble with the law? Well, that's an interesting question. I hope this leads to some funny stories. Signed, Griffin from the Big TO. P.S. I hope you both stay adorable and funny. Well, that's nice. I mean, we are those things, but we just don't usually hear it from a guy.
Adorable and funny.
Yes.
Aw.
So he's asking about if we've ever had trouble with the law. I have.
Griffin from the Big TO. That would be Toronto, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you don't know that for sure. Could be Toledo, Ohio. I'm just saying.
You're right. I just assumed.
Yeah.
I'm so Toronto-centric.
I think it probably is, because I'm not sure people in Toledo say the Big TO. But
well, they might.
You might. You never know. But anyway, he's talking about trouble with the law. Now, I have had trouble with the law.
Kevin.
I know.
I'm shocked.
I know. You should be. It is shocking.
Did you steal those 2 cats?
Yes, I did. I stole them from the guy's brother because he's away. Now you don't have to look at them after them at all. They're mine. But anyway.
So when did you get in trouble with the law?
I was a child. I must have been at least 9 or 10. And me and my friend, Stevie, we would go to...
He's trouble.
He was always trouble. We would go to the Simpsons, which was a department store that is now defunct.
Simpsons, yes.
Yeah, remember that store?
Of course.
It was a big department store. It was like the Bay or Sears if you're down in the States. And we used to steal. At the time it was the 80s. I was a kid, and we'd steal GI Joe action figures.
But you deliberately went there to steal.
Yes.
Oh, shocked.
Now it was all masterminded by Stevie. I was the lookout. So what I would do is I would look for the staff. Well, he went and kind of took the action figures out of their packaging and put them in his pockets.
Wow.
And but
little did he know that the packaging
yes.
later on is what would become the thing.
Yeah, that's true. I know. They're worth nothing now.
When they're not in their packaging.
Thinking. Exactly.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, it could have been worth thousands. So the stupid thing, of course, is that we got caught. And what we got caught by was the store cops, who were plainclothes store cops.
Yes.
So they're people that walk around looking like they're shopping.
Right.
But they're really cops looking for, people stealing G.I. Joes and stuff like us.
Right.
And I apparently was not a very good lookout. I must admit that I'm partially responsible for the whole getting caught thing, because I didn't even realize these guys. So I was only 9 or 10. So can you really blame me?
Yeah, it sounds like one guy did his job and one guy did not.
Exactly. I'd be the guy. If this was the mob or something, I think I'd probably get whacked at some point for being inept.
Be like you'd be like the getaway driver or whatever they call him, But
exactly. I went the wrong way.
Yeah, or drove away before the guy got in the car.
I drove to the police station. Anyway, so we got stopped by the store cops, and they actually caught us. I guess they had to prove that we were leaving the store with stuff. So then we were in the mall. So they kind of caught up to us in the mall and grabbed us and held us and said, I remember they said something like, because they described exactly what we stole, at the time. So I guess they had to announce exactly what we stole at the time, and there was some sort of thing. So then they took us in the back, and I don't think they actually ever called the real cops, because I don't remember the real cops getting involved. But
they threw a good scare into y'all.
They did. Oh, we were really scared. And then I remember that night we both went home, and I told my parents, and they were, moderately, upset with me. But I remember Stevie had to call me that night. His mom had made him call and call me to apologize for spearheading this, genius robbery that we thought we'd get away with.
Right.
I just remember him. It's so unfortunate. I just remember him, his mom just yelling at him in the background while he's apologizing. He's crying and apologizing on the phone, and him just getting hit by his mom while he's on the phone. And I felt really bad about that.
Now, was this the first time you had done it, or?
Yeah. Oh no, we had done it before and gotten away with it. Yeah, a couple of times. But this was maybe the third time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
I must say I did learn a lesson. I haven't stolen anything since.
Good.
Except the hearts of the nation. But other than that,
and do you have any idea whatever became of Stevie?
No, I have no idea. We were friends, when we were younger, and then by the time junior high and high school rolled around, we were in different groups.
So let's just assume that for all you kids listening out there, that he's doing a hard time
I
in
think
a federal
so.
penitentiary.
I definitely think he is.
15 to 20 years.
15 to 20 for armed robbery.
Yeah. Wow, that's quite a story. There,
Yeah.
Kevin. I'm shocked, but
Plus, I think Simpsons went out of business shortly after that, so I think we may have run them out of business.
You
Those
may have.
3 action figures we stole.
you know, I was a very
Yeah, how about you? Any?
well, I was a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah.
And I remember one time being in a department store near where I lived, and I was shopping to buy a present for my sister for her birthday, and I chose a record, like musical.
An LP record?
A musical, yes.
Okay.
A musical album.
Yes.
A musical bum. No, a music album.
It's the hobo scene.
And I
Breaking off his hip.
tucked it under my arm with all my school books and everything.
Yeah.
And no word of a lie, was heading for the cashier
Really?
to pay for it.
Oh,
Absolutely,
okay.
without
All
any
right.
kind of.
Okay.
There wasn't anything underhanded going on. And I was just walking around the department store with my friend, chit-chatting and looking at this and that and other things. And then I just we got halfway home. And I realized, oh my God.
Oh, so you accidentally have committed a crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't. So here I am, like way past the store, out the
Yeah,
door, long
yeah.
gone, with this thing under my arm, like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, and of course, if we had been caught, there's no way they would have believed that story,
Of
right?
course,
Two,
yes.
like 12-year-olds or whatever it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
out there with, I just walked out with a piece of merchandise. So I was like freaking out. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
So I went back.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I went back and
You're
paid for
such a
it.
good boy.
I know.
Yeah.
So
conscientious.
So in fact, I didn't actually get in trouble with the law.
Okay.
But I certainly scared myself. One time, the same friend I'm talking about and a bunch of other guys, we had been at somebody's, one of our buddies' place for like a sleepover. So it was like probably early on a Sunday morning. We'd all been, at this guy's place. So we all kind of went out. Everybody probably, I don't know, we probably woke up at 6 a.m. or something.
Right.
Kids at their sleepovers.
Uh-huh.
And near where we lived, there was this kind of industrial area, and we were kind of wandering around. We were all probably 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And we found this dumpster of all of these like magnetic tapes, like those old big computer tapes or audio tapes or whatever, but like hundreds of these reels of tape that somebody had thrown out.
Okay.
So we got to goofing around with them, right?
Uh-huh.
And we would like hold one end of the tape and then like throw the reel so it would unravel. And we threw a whole bunch of them up and over the hydro wires.
Oh my God.
So that it would be like a big, like tent-like structure.
Oh yeah, that's how 3 of your friends got killed that time, right? They're electrocuted immediately.
And I did 20 years for first-degree murder.
Yes.
That's my story.
That's how Howard and I met. I was I came in to read some books.
You were the prison chaplain.
I was yes, exactly.
No, so we're all kind of making a stupid mess, just kids goofing around, and wouldn't you know it, a police car rolls around.
Yeah.
And like an idiot, one of the guys in the group says, "Run!" So everybody takes off in opposite directions, right?
Okay.
And sure enough, the police are no idiots, and they kind of chase us all down.
Right.
They're in a car, for God's sake.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
And they basically just scared us, right?
Okay.
They basically told us, blah, 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 you guys are going to be in big trouble, and took all our names and numbers and everything. And I remember the cop saying to my friend, you fit the description of a purse snatcher on the west side of town. And he was like, I didn't steal it. I don't even know what a purse snatcher is. I never heard of that.
Right.
So we all went home and immediately told our parents what had happened.
Wow.
Expecting that the call was about to come from the police, and I didn't want the police to be the first ones to tell them. I wanted to get my side of the story out, right? So I tell the whole story to my parents. Guess what?
The cops never called.
Never called.
Oh.
Could have got away with it.
Totally been fine.
Totally. It ended up being a whole big deal. All the parents were talking to each other. Didn't get to go to any more sleepovers.
Oh, that's a shame. And you never touched magnetic tape again.
That's right. I immediately went digital after that.
You did, yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
You did. You invented the MP3.
But in both
Wow.
cases, in both of my anecdotes, I think you could say that I did the right thing.
That's true. You did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just a disgusting thief, but you, in the end, were a good boy. Conscientious member of society.
Well, thanks for your letter, Griffin, from wherever T.O. is. I hope that he finds us adorable and funny in that story. He was hoping we would continue, and he said, I hope this leads to some funny stories. I hope he found those funny.
Well, there were stories. I'm not sure how funny they were. Mine were fun.
Griffin will be the judge of that.
Yes. So you got another letter there for us?
Do we have time for another one?
I think so.
Not dear. Hi, Howard and Kevin.
Oh, you win then.
Yay.
We had one with me at the top, one with you at the top, and one guy's, but the fourth one was Howard.
Dun-da-da!
You win again.
What else is new? Sorry, loser. I didn't mean to say it that way.
Jerk.
Hi, Howard and Kevin. I am 48 years old and joined a band last year.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good for him.
Oh, that's
or
nice.
her. We'll get to that.
Nope.
We have played 3 gigs and the crowd seemed to love us. That's good.
That's good.
Do you think there is any chance I can make it as a rock star?
Oh, well.
Goes on to say, all of these recent reality shows for singers, The Voice, America's Got Talent, X Factor, etc., have me unearthing a long since buried dream. And then he's got sort of a sub-question here. Are reality shows so unreal that they are distorting many people's ideas of what is really possible? I just read recently there were allegations that Simon Cowell was tutoring and grooming a young Justin Bieberish singer prior to his appearance on X Factor or Britain's Got Talent or whatever show he does in the UK.
No.
Makes me wonder. Signed, Marshall Sam, Pickering, Ontario.
Oh, very good.
Just outside of the big T.O.
It is, yeah, Toledo. So,
okay, so
I would like to
go
first of all
on
say that that's a lot of hearsay about Simon Cowell. We don't know if that's true or not. We don't want to be, getting
God forbid you run
involved
down.
in some sort of libel case.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't want to run down Simon Cowell's excellent,
his brilliance
reputation
and everything, and wearing tight shirts. So he's joined a band. He's asking if he will become a rock star, if that's possible. I mean, anything is possible.
Yes.
I mean, 48 years old is not that old. I've heard of many kind of artists who do come along later on in their lives. You don't have to be a teenager to be a popular singer and or rock star, I think. There's not a lot of them, but occasionally you hear of a guy who's, been playing in a bar for 20 years, or a coffee shop, and then he gets this kind of weird success. And all of a sudden, he's, a very popular guy. So it can happen, I think. Now, the odds of it happening.
Yes, I think that's where you got to put the point. Is you don't want to, start relying on the fact.
Certainly not.
You need to go to school and get your education, young man.
At 48, so what was I going to say? Summer school. No, I don't think.
Well, I'm glad that the crowds love them.
That's good.
His band, and he says they've played 3 gigs.
Yeah,
and then there were Central Park, Madison Square Garden,
right.
and,
Wembley Stadium.
Exactly.
But I think his bigger point here is about the idea that these reality shows. I think this is interesting.
Are reality shows distorting people's idea of what is really possible?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they totally are. I think that because that's the funniest and also saddest part of those kind of shows is those pathetic no-chancers in the first few weeks of like American Idol or whatever. People who are so deluded about their own abilities.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. And I think a lot of people are like that. I think they either have no one in their life who will tell them the truth, that no, you're not actually a good singer, you're actually pretty bad. And they either don't have someone in their life that will tell them that because, often, they're singing to their family or whatever. Their family's not going to say, no, honey, you're terrible. Right. Or friends who would do the same. And also just have this, they're either tone deaf or they don't understand what actual good singing is.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
That they can look at themselves whatever, in the mirror, on tape, whatever you want to say,
Yeah.
and say to themselves, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going down there and I'm going to stand in
I'm
line
the next
for a day and a half.
Aguilera. Yeah.
And I am going to belt this thing out and I am going to knock them dead.
Exactly.
And when I don't get that golden ticket or whatever the hell
Yeah.
it is, I am going to cry my eyes out.
Oh, it's unbelievable how upset and shocked they are at their own, failure.
Or you know what I love is when they still won't admit that they're bad.
Yes.
They're like, you have no idea. I'm going to make it in this business and you're going to be sorry. And you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
I know. I don't think they do.
Well, Marshall Sam in Pickering, Ontario, good luck with your gigs. Maybe we'll come out. Pickering's not that far.
You know what? I mean, really, for people like that, I think it's just the enjoyment of going out and playing music.
For sure.
Is what it's all about. Don't look for anything more than that.
No.
Just enjoy yourself.
And if you get,
it's like this podcast. I think that 3 or 4 people listen to it. We're not doing it for the listeners. We're doing it for us.
But if somebody says to us, we would like to use your podcast for a beer commercial.
That's right.
Like, oh, geez, I don't think so. That's
one of our discussions. Your hilarious Julius Caesar bit might get used behind a Miller Lite commercial.
I come to Batty Caesar. I come to Batty Caesars and instead drink Bud Light. I don't know.
Could happen.
Could happen. Maybe that's our.
Oh,
maybe that'll be our big break.
I think so. Howard, I was just thinking, moving on to another topic, that it's around this time of the show that I think we often do follow-ups with Howard. So, ladies and gentlemen, follow-ups with Howard.
Thank you. Now, Kevin, the first thing I want to say about follow-ups is that I don't know if you felt it, but I felt that it was. I feel bad putting this on you to announce that every time because it takes such effort and sort of difficulty for you to say follow-ups. So I feel like we need to shorten it. We need to give it a little bit of an abbreviation. So instead of follow-ups, I think you should call it FU.
So that'd just be like, you know what time it is, folks? It's FU Howard.
FU from Howard. Howard says FU. Howard's FU coming right up.
It is a time saver. I'm
Yes.
not going to deny that.
So FU everybody.
Now, was that an official follow-up? No, because that's not following up anything.
No, that's just something I thought of.
That's a different category. We need a new segment for new ideas.
Yeah, that's not as funny. So here we are in episode 14, and we were looking back at episode 13, of course,
yes.
following that up.
What did we
effing F that you.
That's really stretching the premise.
And there's really, I think, only one thing in that episode that we needed to follow up.
Hit me.
And as always, if you think there were other things to follow up, write us a letter.
Yeah, let us know.
And by you, I mean you.
We'll follow up whatever the hell you want us to follow up.
That's right.
Basically.
F you, people. We were talking about a letter that came in about wearing white after Labor Day.
Yes, I remember.
And we were talking about, he mentioned in the letter the idea that isn't it always after Labor Day? And he said it was kind of similar to the plot of Gremlins, where it's like there's something that you can't do after midnight.
Right. You can't feed a gremlin after midnight, or you get trouble.
Right. And we were talking about how it's always after midnight and stuff.
Right.
But we were confused and not very clear on what the actual details were of the movie Gremlins.
Okay.
And
all right.
How it and how that after midnight thing all played into the plot.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
So I just thought we'll take a minute here just to clear that up.
Are you going to read the entire plot synopsis of Gremlins?
I'm going to actually read the entire script.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
From the beginning.
Interior.
It begins this way. Friends, Romans, countrymen, bring me your gremlins. Okay, so Gremlins was a little furry creature. It started with this one little gremlin.
He's a mogwai.
He's a mogwai, yes. Right? And there was one specific one
Gizmo,
whose name was Gizmo, right? And he started it all. Okay. And so the dad in the story who finds Gizmo in like a Chinese antique shop in Chinatown is told by the guy who sells him Gizmo 3 specific instructions.
Okay.
Never expose it to bright lights.
Bright light, bright light. Yep.
Thank you. Never get it wet.
No.
And never feed it after midnight.
Okay.
Okay, so we kind of remembered those things, but we didn't really remember what happened
Right.
in those things.
Okay.
Okay, so it turns out that if you get the mogwai wet,
Okay.
it immediately gets
Is this back to the Poonhound again? Or talking about wet mogwai here.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
I'm all blushing now.
So it has fallen open too. Could you maybe put that back up there?
Lend me your ear. If you get a mogwai wet,
yes,
other mogwais immediately sprout out of it. Little things. So that's what happens if you get it wet.
Okay, yeah,
right. A whole bunch of little ones
other
jump
mogwais.
Out. Right.
Oh yeah.
They sort of become new mogwais. That's how it multiplies.
It's like asexual reproduction.
That's right. But interestingly enough, in the story, the secondary ones are kind of mischievous.
Yeah, they're jerks.
And
I do remember that because Gizmo was quite a cute nice little guy.
Yes, he was the friendly
but
guy.
then
And then the worst of the jerks was dubbed Stripe.
I remember him. He had a stripy head. Yep.
Now, the other thing was the feeding them after midnight.
Okay.
If you feed them after midnight, then they go into this cocoon thing.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So Stripe and his bad buddies talked the kid into feeding them after midnight.
Right.
But Gizmo didn't eat.
No.
But they all turned into these cocoons.
Okay.
And when they hatch out of the cocoons, they were gremlins.
Yes.
Which were mischievous reptilian creatures with sharp teeth and claws.
Yeah. They were total jerks.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's when they go on like a murdering rampage and they go all crazy and Stripe jumps into a swimming pool, creating thousands of more gremlins.
Remember that, yes.
And it becomes a whole big crazy mess.
Wow.
And in order to kill them all, or I guess to kill the last remaining ones after they finally are able to get rid of most of them, Gizmo opens a set of window blinds, causing sunlight to pour in. Which kills.
Which is the bright light part.
Right. So the bright light. So if the bright light will kill them, water will make them multiply. Feeding them after midnight turns them from a furry mogwai into a reptilian gremlin. Okay. And basically that is that clears that up.
Wow, there we go.
So and at the end of the movie, the Chinese antique store owner takes Gizmo back, claiming that the Western world is not yet ready for the responsibility that comes in caring for
I'm going to have to agree with him. I think he's exactly right. They're not ready for the gremlins.
Yeah, none of us are here in the Western world.
No.
So that's explaining why you can't feed them after midnight.
Well, there we go.
The water thing, because we were confused about that.
Yeah, well, it all makes sense now.
Good.
Phoebe Cates was okay at the end.
I think she does.
Say anything about Phoebe Cates?
I
want her to be okay.
I think she ends up all right.
All right, good.
Yes,
she's not murdered by a gremlin.
There's some scene where all the nasty gremlins watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I don't remember that.
An odd sort of twist.
Okay,
we'll have to go back and watch it.
Maybe. Well, we'll watch it live on a podcast.
That'll be like Mystery Science Theater. We'll just talk about it as we watch it.
We'll comment about it. Well, there we go. That was FU, Howard.
That's right.
Okay, good.
FU too, Kevin. Well, I guess that sort of brings us to
one hell of a long show.
Yes. And
that was good, though.
So I guess we will say good night. Good night.
We will.
Parting is such sweet sorrow, Kevin. I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Yes.
It's Romeo and Juliet, in case you're not paying attention.
Oh,
so follow us on Twitter. What are you doing? You're liking us on Facebook.
Yes.
You're subscribing to us on iTunes.
Yes.
You're.
I'm not. I've done all these things before.
You're going to www.howardandkevin.com, and you are writing us a letter at mail@howardandkevin.com.
Wow, there's so many things.
Email, web, Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes. Wow. Those are the big five.
That's crazy. Those
are the big five. Folks, we have loved talking to you this week.
It was a good one.
Usually we're, lukewarm about it.
Yeah.
This week we
largely-
loved it.
I'm mostly largely indifferent most days, but this one has actually worked out.
I could hug talking to you this week. How much I've loved it.
If there was a way of creating talking to you this week into a physical form of some sort, Howard would hug that.
I would.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Howard.
And thank you, Kevin.
It was a good one.
It is. It's lovely to be here. Thanks again.
No problem. And don't forget, on HowardandKevin.com, you too can send us a letter, which we might just read and answer on.
Howard and Kevin open your mail.